Thank you for watching this Last Mile Profits video.
Can InPost bag some new business with their new locker service? Keep watching to find out more.
Last Mile Profits is brought to you by Parcel Pending by Quadient.
Gary, would you like to have an InPost suitcase?
Based on the contents of the news story I saw this week, I think the answer is absolutely, definitely yes. Not for stylish or because I'm a man about town expert traveler, but just if I can screw over Ryanair one time in my life.
Well, yeah. Let's just share the story. So InPost is actually offering people a chance for the princely sum of about 70 to 80 euros to buy a travel case with wheels. Looks actually pretty good from what I can see, but branded pack yourself into, and then a picture of a locker, and is designed to fit in the largest compartment, but then easily be taken out and you can move it on wheels. But I think what is really interesting, and this is the bit, Gary, that I guess you're talking about, is that deliveries cost between 49 zlotys, which is around about, let's say, 12, 13 euros, and 105, which is just over double that. So very, very cheap compared to what you'd have with one of the low-cost airlines.
And this is the appeal. So if Ryanair did a loyalty card, I would be like treble platinum. Because I think I'm literally on Ryanair every single week. And their sort of Stasi style luggage policy drives me mad. I've got a very smart suitcase that is, I think it's 2 centimeters too thick to go as cabin luggage. And every now and again, I do a trip where I want to take something in the hold. And the cost of putting luggage in the hold is frankly outrageous. I think I looked the other day to take some scuba diving equipment to Cyprus. It was 60 euros each way to take the scuba diving equipment to Cyprus. Now I think, well, probably don't want to not have it with me going out because I'll need it when I get there. But coming back, that stuff's going to sit in the back of the wardrobe in the loft for a few months until I go diving again. I'd happily pay 24 euros, stick it in an InPost locker. It can weft its way across Europe as slow as it wants, and I'll pick it up when it gets to the UK. I think it's marvellous.
And you know what, Gary? I've actually tested it because, as you know, I've got a place in Spain. And they say 3 to 5 days, and it really does work that way. And actually, from my perspective, you know, this won't work if you've got a last-minute trip. But if you know that you're going somewhere, you've got time to plan, then this is actually really, really cool. And there's one other benefit from the customer's perspective, which is you don't have to carry heavy bags with you on the flight. You can send them to a Pudo or locker slipper distance from where you live and then collect at a time convenient to you. So this is absolutely great.
Definitely. Being a sort of expat myself as well, there are random things from home that you want sent to you that make no sense to pay high cost luggage allowance on the plane for. That does make sense if there is a decent locker to locker service or even to a Pudo here in Portugal, would make a lot of sense. And I think if you are likely to make good use of that case, then that initial investment of 70 euros, whatever it is, you said it in some strange foreign currency before, which I don't understand, you'll make that back in a heartbeat. And I really don't care if the bag's ugly or doesn't really wheel very well, because I'm going to pick it up in my car anyway.
And I think, Gary, to be honest, if someone knows the measurements, you can probably buy an alternative bag that's going to be pretty similar, or just as I do, use a box that is ideally suited. And then you I don't know if you can still buy them. You used to be able to buy these little wheels that you could attach to a box, and effectively it becomes like a mobile suitcase. But there's one other really good benefit, Gary, which is you can transport things that you wouldn't be able to transport by plane. So knives, if you need them, liquids, provided, and I should say this, provided they're well packed, because I recently got sort of, what's the word, coerced into taking some liquids in the pack that we sent. And my wife didn't really close the top too well. So you've got to be careful that, you know, you don't have liquid that's going to destroy everything. But otherwise, I think we're aligned. It's a really great idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's, how much Marmite could you fit in a suitcase like that? I'm thinking it's quite a few kilos. I'm intrigued by something you just said, that when you go on these business trips, you don't have a suitcase, you carry your clothes in a cardboard box with what sounds like the spare parts of a shopping trolley strapped to it. I've never seen you in the airport, but I find that shocking.
Well, yeah, this is exactly the thing, Gary. This is not what I take on a business trip. This is what I take to my other home in Spain. And I think this is what it's designed for rather than for business trips because of the time lag, which we discussed. There is one last thing, Gary, though, I'd like to cover with you, which is that, you know, this is great from the customer's perspective. But what it does mean is that InPost is going to have large numbers of relatively heavy volumetric parcels compared to the typical stuff that will go through budas and lockers.
It depends where your price point is, right? So if those figures you're saying 14 to 20 pounds are accurate for moving a suitcase, that's 7 to 10 to 15 times higher than what they charge for moving a lightweight parcel. So from a revenue perspective, it's pretty damn good, actually. If that large locker was used for a clothing item, a pair of boots in a big box, they might only make €3 or €4 for shipping that. Whereas if they know this suitcase is going to fit and they've built some logistics around doing it, the relative uplift in revenue per parcel is massive. So I think it's great. I mean, we're not always massively supportive of everything that happens in this industry, but I think this is really, really cool.
To make it clear, I'm absolutely with you on the fact that this is super cool. 2 caveats. Number one, the price was in euros, not pounds, so it's actually a bit cheaper. But the other thing we've got to remember, this is for cross-border. So it's not quite the same as domestic pricing, delicately speaking. One final comment. I think this is a real disaster for some of the large European cross-border players, or specifically, let's be honest, for GLS and DPD, because they're going to have to, I believe, and I think it's already happened, reduce their prices if they're going to compete.
Well, there's no reason why they can't copy it. I mean, if you look at all the players you just mentioned, they've all got their own locker networks now. We're in various states, from sort of nascent, embryonic, right up to very mature. Yeah, this could kickstart this cross-border locker-to-locker thing. But you did trip in my mind, actually, the UK again, being outside of the EU with Brexit. If I saw one of these, if I worked in customs and excise and I saw one of these suitcases trundling through one of the hubs, I would definitely be looking inside to see what's in there. Like you say, you could put literally anything in there and then thinking it's an anonymous way to move it, because you don't have to give your home address, you just give the locker address. Yeah, I think there are some customs challenges when you're going outside of the EU, but other than that, as long as you're not shipping bombs and guns, or drugs and whatever, go for it.
So, well, actually, when I look at the details, the UK, probably for the reasons you've mentioned, is excluded, at least for now. But
Yeah.
I think, Gary, unusually, we are completely aligned here. I'm certainly going to test it perhaps with a case, because I haven't done that yet. And it would be great, as usual, to have comments from our viewers. Maybe somebody has used the service, has some good, bad, or other experience, or maybe they've seen something else similar somewhere. Gary, as usual, really great talking. Looking forward to the next one.
Absolutely. See you soon.
Gary, I was looking at the subscriptions and realized that a huge number of our audience actually don't subscribe to watch our videos.
Really? That's outrageous. It's a bit like watching the BBC without your TV license. How can we keep it free if people aren't subscribing and letting us know they want more of this content? It's ridiculous.
And on top of that, if they're not subscribed, they don't get information about the latest hot episode where you can make one of your witty jokes and we can talk about something that is really important for our industry.
If I knew that a single act like that would make sure I got maximum time taking the mickey out of you, I'd be hitting subscribe in a heartbeat.
Well, look, so here we have it. Please, everyone, if you haven't subscribed yet, this is your opportunity. Click right now. The button should be there, or maybe there. Do it now and have it done.